Storytelling. Good storytelling, like good communication overall, is about feelings first, and data as an appendix, if included at all. When a filmmaker wants to tell a story to an audience, they need to do more than just put a text outline on the screen. They need to do more than list facts for the audience. You are valuable. You should trust yourself. You can do anything, so do it now. They need to make the audience want to stay, want to hear what happens next. They need to teach by first inspiring and exemplifying the motivation for the audience to want to learn. A person that grows up a poor, everything seems terrible, and then it gets worse. But slowly, very, very slowly, the hope in them starts to emerge. And the person that remembers who they are. They remember they're in the right by being true to their own conscience. So they courageously they offer the help in solving every problem that they see. And they have so much fun. There's so much fun that everybody does the same thing. And the whole universe will be united. The whole universe and everybody be so happy, so happy, so happy. They need to engage the audience at an emotional level, which involves art. Emotions are more important to storytelling than facts, which is evident in the heartfelt appreciation of countless stories, including these, for which the facts themselves are fictional. Storytelling is a combination of heart, emotion, and mind facts, with the heart, emotion, being the focus, and the mind the facts in a supporting role. As another illustration of this point, a gift or a card is about heart, emotion, and mind facts, with the heart, emotion being the focus, and the mind the facts in a supporting role. A piece of paper with words of ink is worth next to nothing, just data, facts, physicality. The heart, the emotion, the care, the love, is where the value, the meaning of a card resides. And likewise with the priceless, handmade artistic gifts of preschoolers and kindergartners. Correspondingly, relationships between souls are not about word choices, the data processing skill of selecting the right word blocks as a secondary representation of one's sentiment, but about the sentiment itself, care, love, valuation. At the end of the day, no words are necessary when communicating at the spirit level, for intent can be conveyed directly. It's advantageous to think this way, as wordless understanding, feeling, emotion lends itself directly to trust, and is not burdened, hindered, restrained, held inefficient by the robotic skill set of effectively building models as secondary word trains, creating sentences from a catalog/dictionary of effectively trained cars of words. Wordless spiritual sharing is efficient, mature spiritual sharing. To summarize this point, emotions, feelings, sentiments are more important than data, facts, physicality, can supersede them, and can ultimately eliminate them. This is one of the foundational truths of spirituality. Emotions, feelings, sentiments must come first amidst spiritual reality, and the jurisdiction of spiritual reality is everywhere.
And last night I thought, what is a family anyway? They're just people who make you feel less alone and really loved. And that's what you've done for me. Thank you for being my family.
General, you are listening to a machine. Do the world a favor and don't act like one.
Try to imagine looking at the Earth from a distance, as Earth actually appears. No imaginary lines, no countries, no borders. It may be challenging to define where the United States are. The Great Lakes and Florida aren't easy to identify, but that's about it. Believing in spiritual reality, believing in our brothers and sisters from other places, whose existence we will prove later, try to imagine what it's like for them upon arriving at Gaia, this beautiful, conscious Earth from space. They are, of course, well aware of the basic truth that emotions, feelings, sentiments come first. So one of the first things they do is they look at landforms, and they listen to their hearts in interpreting depictions, images, that may convey information about the planet. What species may they encounter? Where might be a good place to land? What might they expect to find upon landing? Long story short, immense information of this nature is encoded in the natural landscapes of Gaia as viewed from space. And consistently with this discussion, its interpretation, impact, and value leverages upon the heart, more so than supporting technological analyses. If grade school children weren't taught instead to focus upon pretend lines of country borders defined by military conquests from centuries ago, but instead focus upon listening to and being true to their hearts, this is how they would end up interpreting the world. And this does not apply to just looking at Gaia from space. The jurisdiction of spiritual reality is everywhere, especially nature, as is most natural. When walking in nature, practice listening to your heart as to how you are feeling, what inspiration may be arriving, what guidance you may see in, say, the example of a beautiful small plant thriving harmoniously amidst more powerful forces all around them. Say in the unregulated yet sustained, beautiful wide diversity all around us. Say in the naturally formed beautiful fur coat worn across the entire life of an animal. Say in the museum quality artisanship of seashells, or in the absolute beauty of a pineapple, a major life achievement of a pineapple plant. What are the shapes of the tree branches telling you? What nudges, reminders, or fun might you find in the form of clouds? If you engage the clouds, how might they respond? If you open your heart and wish upon a star, might you guess what eventually happens if you keep believing? The natural habitat is, of course, the most natural place for these messages. Yet all of reality is spiritual. The jurisdiction of spiritual reality is everywhere. You can explore emotional guidance and tentative insights in everything you see, everything you hear, everything you encounter all the time, always led by how you feel. Nothing has to be, quote, objectively real. Even time, space, and matter, as we'll later discuss, are illustrated not to be real through quantum physics. What matters is the spiritual experience, how you feel, and how you grow in spiritual depth. The spiritual experience is why we are here. As you see forms in your mind upon falling asleep, you can explore how they make you feel, whether supporting information may be encompassed within them, and so forth. And then the special skill, the fun challenge, which you can of course develop, is to progressively learn how to hold on to that information long enough to speak it into a voice recorder, and then review it during daytime. As we learn to discern truth for ourselves, in a reality where only love in its multitude of illusory and arbitrary time-space matter forms exists, then the treaty lines of centuries-old conflicts by greedy conquerors, as well as their supporting monetary systems, institutions, and so forth, become extremely irrelevant, and obviously do not constitute a basis of moral authority, except to the extent that social conventions may resonate with our hearts. Existence means that we get to decide where we place our focus. Existence means that we have the right and the obligation to ourselves to be true to our hearts, beginning by listening to them first. Just as feelings lead other forms of storytelling, feelings lead the story of who we are, why we are here, and what comes next. We'll continue our discussion in the next video.